The Galactic Intelligence Assessment Center had never been so quiet. Ambassador Zixthor, a towering Valkyrian with crystalline skin that refracted the sterile light into rainbow patterns, held the impossibility cube between his three-fingered hands. His secondary eyes blinked in what his species considered profound confusion. "Impossible," he whispered, his translator struggling to convey the depth of his disbelief. Beside him, Chief Assessor Mariga, a being of pure thought energy contained within a mobility sphere, pulsed an angry crimson. "Run the security footage again." The holographic display flickered to life for the 7th time that morning. There she was, Daria Chen, age 7 standard Earth years, with dark braids bouncing as she skipped into the assessment chamber. Her mother, Dr. Sarah Chen, stood nervously by the entrance, clutching a datapad containing Earth's formal application for Tier 3 civilization status. In the footage, Daria approached the impossibility cube with the casual curiosity of a child who'd just spotted an interesting rock. The puzzle was a perfect meter-long crystalline structure, its surface covered in geometric patterns that shifted through 17 dimensions. It had been designed by the archivists, the eldest species in known space, as a test that only beings with cognitive processing capabilities far beyond organic limitations could solve. The current record holder was an AI collective that had taken 4,000 years. "Look, Mama," Daria's voice echoed through the recording. "It's like the toy Uncle Marcus got me." Before Dr. Chen could respond, before any of the dozen observers could react, Daria reached out. Her small fingers moved across the surface, twisting, pressing, sliding pieces that shouldn't have been able to move. The geometric patterns began to align, dimensions folding into themselves with mathematical precision. 11 seconds. The cube chimed, a sound that hadn't been heard since its creation 3 million years prior. All faces opened simultaneously, revealing the quantum core at its center, a swirling miniature galaxy that proved complete solution. In the recording, Daria tilted her head. "Is there a level 2? The hologram froze. Ambassador Zixthor set down the cube with trembling hands. "This changes everything." "Or nothing," Mariga pulsed, shifting to a skeptical orange. "It could be a fluke. An accident. Perhaps the cube malfunctioned." "The cube cannot malfunction," Zixthor said. "It exists partially outside space-time. It literally cannot break." "Then explain this." Mariga projected diagnostic data into the air. The child didn't approach it mathematically. She didn't calculate dimensional vectors or probability matrices. According to neural scans, she was thinking about sandwiches and something called a birthday party. Zixthor's primary eyes widened. "That's not possible." And yet, Mariga's sphere dimmed thoughtfully. "Perhaps that's the point we keep missing about humans." Across the facility, in a comfortable waiting room designed to calm anxious species, Daria sat swinging her legs while her older brother Jassi played a handheld game. At 14, he'd gotten used to his little sister accidentally breaking things that shouldn't be breakable. "Did you have fun, honey?" Dr. Chen asked, still pale from what she'd witnessed. "Uh-huh." Daria nodded enthusiastically. "The pretty box was nice, but it was easy, Mama. The pieces wanted to go in certain places. I could feel it." Jassi looked up from his game. "Like when she fixes the quantum computer at home?" "Jassi, we've talked about this," Dr. Chen said weakly. "You can't tell people your sister fixes multi-billion credit research equipment." "But she does," Jassi protested. "Last week she made it run 40% faster just by rearranging the coolant system." She said the electrons were lonely. Dr. Chen pressed her fingers against her temples. The assessment was supposed to be a formality, a simple demonstration that humanity had developed sufficient technology and social structure for Tier 3 status. Instead, her 7-year-old had just solved what the galaxy considered an impossible puzzle while thinking about tuna sandwiches. The door slid open. Ambassador Zixthor entered, followed by Mariga and a dozen other officials from various species. They all stared at Daria with expressions ranging from awe to fear. "Dr. Chen," Zixthor began carefully, "we need to ask your daughter some questions." "She's 7, Dr. Chen said protectively. "We understand. But what she did today," he gestured helplessly. "The impossibility cube isn't just a puzzle. It's a fundamental test of cognitive evolution. Only species that have transcended traditional thought patterns can even begin to approach it." Daria looked up at the towering alien. Did I do something wrong? No, little one, Zixthor said, his translator softening his voice. You did something extraordinary. Can you tell me how you solved the puzzle? Daria's face scrunched in concentration. I don't know. I just looked at it and I could see where the pieces wanted to go. Like when you do a jigsaw puzzle, but the picture is in your head instead of on the box. Marega pulsed an intrigued Violet. You visualized it in your mind? All 17 dimensions, I guess? Daria shrugged. It wasn't hard. It was pretty. Like music, but with shapes. Jassy set down his game. Daria's really good at patterns. She taught herself calculus last month because she wanted to understand why rainbows curve. She's 7, one of the observers whispered, a small reptilian being whose scales had turned a shocked white. Human neurology, Mariga mused, projecting brain scans into the air. They don't process information linearly like most species. Their neural networks form chaotic, almost random connections that somehow produce coherent thought. It's wildly inefficient, and apparently far more flexible than we ever imagined. Zixthor knelt down to Daria's level, his crystalline features reflecting her curious face. Daria, how would you like to try another puzzle? Something more challenging. Her eyes lit up. Really? Is it level 2? Something like that, Zixthor said, exchanging glances with Marega. We have something called the temporal recursion chamber. The current record for completing it is 800 years. That's a long time, Daria said seriously. Is there juice breaks? Despite everything, Zixthor found himself laughing, a sound like crystal wind chimes. Yes, there can be juice breaks. Dr. Chen stood. Ambassador, what exactly is happening here? What's happening, Marega said, pulsing a warm gold, is that we're recalibrating our entire understanding of human potential. Your species doesn't think like us. You don't process reality through rigid mathematical frameworks or quantum probability matrices. You see patterns where we see chaos. You find solutions where we see impossibilities. So, do we get the Tier 3 status? Dr. Chen asked hesitantly. Zixthor stood, his posture conveying something like respect. Dr. Chen, based on what your daughter just did, we're not discussing Tier 3 anymore. We're discussing whether humanity might be the first species in galactic history to skip directly to Tier 5. Daria tugged on her mother's sleeve. Does Tier 5 mean bigger puzzles? Much bigger, Zixthor said with what might have been a smile. Cool, Daria said, already thinking about sandwiches again. Can Jassy come too? He's really good at the hard ones. Jassy looked up from his game with a grin. Obviously, someone's got to keep track of her juice breaks. And that, the galaxy would later reflect, was the day they realized humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their determination. It was their inability to recognize when something was supposed to be impossible.